to, because you're from California, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to your California days.
Yeah.
And go back to the beginning and your whole music, your obsession and love of music.
All right, so I'm like, we were trying to figure it out this morning. I think I was 9. I might have been 8. I think I was 9. And my parents forced me to take piano lessons. I got a guitar a little bit after that, and I started. I just like, I didn't really know what I was doing that well, but I was kind of taking like the stuff I had learned from being a classical piano player, translating into a guitar, starting to get fun, and then while I was, you know, my parents were like super into music, so I grew up on like classic rock and roll, and then we had this cassette tape, and we used to take a family vacation to Yosemite, so we'd go there once a year, and we would we had a cassette player in the car, so we had this, like, it was the top 100 like classic country songs of all time, and we would just listen to that thing on repeat. And I don't know, I just, you know, music either speaks to you or it doesn't. I think it speaks to most people, you know. I just kept hammering.
So, do you want to be defined as like country or rock, or do you just kind of like doing your own?
Well, I like doing my own thing. That's also like a very cliche thing to say. Like, I like doing my own thing, you know. Like, I think these days country music just means a lot, you know. And I wouldn't say that I'm like, country music is what I love. I love writing country songs. I love listening to country songs. It's like my life and blood, you know. But at the same time, like, I grew up like a rock guitar player, you know. So like, I grew up on like the Allman Brothers, and that's like, you're talking about Midnight Rider and stuff like that, you know. So it's gonna shine through at some point, right. You know. And I like that. I like hearing that you can't define. You know what I mean? I think it's cool, because I think it speaks to like a lot of audiences.
Yeah. And you headlined, and then you've opened for country acts. You've opened for Eli Young and Frankie Ballard, and then you've opened for like Marshall Tucker Band.
Yeah.
And so, what would you say? What do you take away from those artists, or is there something in particular that maybe like advice or like something that you just take away? No,
I think that's like a great question. Actually, we were kind of like talking about that the other day. Like, I think it's been so cool to sort of get like the full spectrum of like the dudes that have been at it longer than I've been alive, and then like the guys that are coming up in the scene now, you know? Like, it was a different industry then than it is now, but music isn't, like, theoretically music isn't any different, right? So it's kind of like, it's cool. Like, Eli Young Band, for example, we had like the greatest time playing with those guys, and like when I was on the bus, like I was asking Mike Eli, like, when you guys got going, like, was there a moment where you just felt the whole thing click? And he's like, you know, not really. Like, you're just playing, and then all of a sudden, like, more people start coming to the shows, and then they start singing along, and then, you know, but then like you sit down with like Richie Sambora or Marshall Tucker Band or one of those guys, and like, then you like get some stories, you know, and you're like, wow, that's like really different than our deal. You know? It's cool, it's good. It's like, they all have kind of like a dynamic. You try to take the best of all of it, you know.
But do you ever change your songs depending on the crowd? Or
never played the same set list twice in my life.
Really?
Never.
Really?
In fact, it probably drives the band nuts, but like, sometimes we're like getting ready to go, and I go, you know what, guys, never mind. Let's kick off with this one. And they're like, oh my god, like, yeah. Anyway, it's pretty funny.
With your new show, we have new music. This is, look, I have my own copy. It's autographed.
Did I sign it for you? Oh, there you go.
You did.
Good.
I love it. This is your new EP. I've already won. Oh, that's so exciting. That's song number 1, and that's one of those songs I feel like you can just put your windows down, take the top off the car, roll down the highway. It's such an upbeat, feel-good song.
Thank you. Yeah.
I love it.
Sometimes we have 30 minutes as an opener, right? You know, obviously when we're headlining or doing a festival, it's a little different, but like, these Joe Nichols dates were a great example. We have 30 minutes for a lot of people who have never heard us in certain markets, right? Where we have to just like get everything across right there, and like, they've never heard the stuff. Like, you know, that album hadn't even dropped 3 days ago, but by the end of I've Already Won, they're already like singing along. There's like something about that chorus that's familiar, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a moment in there where it says, who would have thought that everything I've done would bring me here? And like, I used to sing that lyric just as a lyric in the song, but now like, a lot of times when you're playing like a big show, like, I sing that line and I kind of look around and I'm like, all right, like, I'm here, we did it.
Give some of your favorites. Talk about some other songs on here.
I'll Settle for a Small Town is like one of my favorite songs I've ever written. That was one of those tunes that just sort of like, that's kind of like you were saying too, that takes some of the obvious cliches that are in country music, you know, but like, it talks about them in a different context. But I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we were doing an event out there, and like, I had like flown to California and back for something, and like, when I was in California, it was just utter chaos everywhere, traffic and pissed off people, and like, and then I came to South Dakota, and it was like, everybody's stress was like, well, the kids' football game's tomorrow. Like, we all got to be there, right? You know, and then we'll all come to the house afterwards. I remember thinking, like, man, this life is so simple out here compared to, like, you know. And so that's what that song's about.
Reno.
So Reno was written by a great writer named Alex Woodard, and I went to college at University of Nevada, Reno. So when I heard that, I had to do it. And it's a cool duet. There's a rock artist out of LA named Alexa Mello who just has this, like, her voice is an instrument on its own, and she sings on it, which is cool.
So did you co-write most of these?
I wrote most of them. Deborah Gusson wrote I've Already Won.
Okay.
And Jeffrey Steele, the man, my favorite writer ever, he wrote I Can't Stop You. That's a song he wrote for his daughter a really long time ago, and that song is like one of my favorites ever to sing.
So what are your plans for the summer? What are you doing?
Keep touring.
Keep touring.
Like a knucklehead. We have like a really busy tour schedule. We have some cool shows coming up we have some dates with William Michael Morgan and Drew Baldridge, and we're back with the Marshall Tucker Band for a little bit. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be a lot of exciting shows.
It's gonna be awesome. Thank you so much. This is Lindsay, y'all, with a Country Note, and keep checking us, and we will see y'all later.
I've made some enemies, lost my share of friends.